Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Networking. I'm Terilee Harrison, and today I have a very special guest, Dhea Bartlett, joining me from the greater Melbourne area. Welcome, Dhea.
Hi, Terilee. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. I'm so excited to have you here. We just said we could probably talk for days. We won't, but we could probably talk for days. In fact, if we were to say, I'm serious, like if we were to say, that we were going to go live 90 days together, like I'm doing by myself, and adding in some guests, we could easily do it and still have plenty of content left. So today we want to try to give you, our aim is to give you some of our best networking tips and strategies from our experience, because we are both what we might call networking queens. In fact, it says right on Dhea's LinkedIn, if I'm to introduce her a little bit more formally now, right on the very top, they call me the networking queen. She is an executive at Send Out Cards. She runs Bayside networking events in the Melbourne area. So networking runs in her blood. It runs in her veins, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. Love connecting people. Love bringing people together, as you do, Terilee.
Yes, that's the one thing that we totally share in common. The other thing is how our hair looks exactly the same.
I know. I know. I had to go back a bit so I wouldn't take up the whole area.
It's all good. It's all good.
And we both love red lipstick.
And we will not appear on lives or Zooms without any. We have to have lipstick.
Right.
That would be the common denominator. Yes, my dear. Yes. We're talking about what could we talk about today, and one thing that came to mind is Dhea is one of the people that I know that is super good about helping us be memorable in our networking. So Dhea, have you met people in your networking that they're not memorable at all, and it's a little challenging sometimes to remember them?
Oh, it is, because they turn up once, dare I say, vomit over everybody, and then they disappear, and then they complain that nobody, I came to your thing once, and you go, well, yeah, and I got nothing. And I go, and what did you give? Oh, well, I didn't get anything. So this whole back and forward is coming once, so you don't remember them. It's like, how can you remember? You get 30 people, 40 people. It's worse in a Zoom room when you got 100 people in a room. How do you remember anybody without any follow-up?
No, it's so true. And there's sometimes I'll get someone on a one-to-one with me. I'll ask them all the questions, and they don't bother to ask you one thing about you. They have no interest in you. And that makes you a little bit unmemorable too. So we have a hello, ladies, and we are super excited that you're here. We'd like to invite you. You might be in a group watching us, and so we can't see who you are. If you'd like to identify yourself, we may give you a very excited hello. But right now we just want to say hello back. So Dhea, I thought we could just kind of bounce back and forth some of our most memorable strategies that we have seen, that we've implemented. And so Dhea, Jeanette, welcome. Jeanette Martin from Canada is here. There we go. See, we'll get excited if y'all tell us who you are. Okay, so let's start with you, Dhea. What would be one of your most memorable things that you can do in networking?
Well, I turn up on time if it's in person, now that we're starting to roll out in-person events. So you make sure you find your car park. Don't turn up, don't think if it's a 10 o'clock start or a 9 o'clock that you arrive 9 o'clock. You've got to get there early. I would say case the room, pick a strategic chair. I know it sounds silly, but find out where you want to sit in the room. If you have the opportunity to see who's attending, see who your power partners are, and spend your time connecting with those people rather than just, I love meeting anybody, and I can find connections for anybody, but if you're there and you're a nutritionist, well, then go and find people who are in the wellness area. Or if you're a branding specialist, go and find the people in the marketing department, because they are going to be your power partner. You're going to talk the same language. They're going to make you feel comfortable especially if it's your first, few times. And that's what I always say, turn up early, because turning up early shows that you're interested and you're valuing that thing. Rushing in late, trying to find a spare seat really makes you disrupt the meeting. people look at you, you might be memorable, but are you memorable for the right reasons?
Oh, maybe that should be, we want to be memorable for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
Yes, yes. We got a comment that's a great strategy, and Chella is checking in. Good evening, Chella. Hope you've had a great day. I want to take this and let's apply that same concept. Would be memorable in the right way. How about just online even? We have that opportunity. We can choose to pop into that Zoom 5 minutes early, meet the leaders. The leaders will be there, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's somewhat of the same thing. We can come in 10 minutes late and be like, oh, I'm sorry. Or we can we can be there, be prepared, be ready to go and say hello. And we can totally be memorable that way as well. Okay, so that was a good one. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the same thing as when you're on online ones. I have rules of, if you can't come to my meeting with the camera on, you just don't come. I don't want to talk to a little, or come in, do your presentation, and then switch your camera off. I mean, that's not engagement. You got to be engaged, and even more so online. And don't sort of look down here on your phone. And imagine if you're talking and I'm sort of going. I mean, I'd say to people, I give you permission to take notes, because sometimes you are taking notes, and it's tricky if you're sitting. You can't sit there and take notes like this.
You can't. Yeah. Just kidding.
You hold your phone up. Yeah.
We got a big yes, and I bet that's from Jeanette. I don't know. I'm just thinking if Jeanette's still here, that might be from Jeanette. And if it's not, tell us who you are. That's so true. We cannot do network. We must be present. You must be present. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So totally. Okay. So let me think. You alluded to it, and I'll go next, and then your turn. I don't know. We've already been all over the place, but the giving aspect. I think that if we want to be memorable when we're meeting people, it doesn't mean that you have to give the biggest referral you've ever given to somebody. But you know what? We should always be thinking, even when we meet somebody new, who could I introduce them to? And just as an example, sometimes it's the little things that mean a lot. Like maybe they're looking for podcast opportunities, and they like do, and you can and in business podcasts, and maybe you can introduce them to someone who hosts a podcast. And like, I think that makes you memorable. That makes you memorable is when you are able to make any type of connection for them. If they're looking for a resource, maybe they have a certain program they're looking for, and you're able to help. Again, if we sat and didn't engage them, what's going to happen? But they're going to remember you. They're going to remember you for that. So that's one that I have.
Yeah, I agree. And if you do receive those recommendations, thank the person who has recommended them to or referred you to them. That has to be my pet peeve, I have to say. I don't know if the networking queen can have a pet peeve in referring, but
sure you can.
Just because I do it all the time doesn't mean I don't want to be appreciated for that connection. Because guess what happens? Next time somebody asks about that, and there's two people, and one has thanked me and one hasn't, who's going to get that referral? I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That pretty woman, remember that pretty woman scene? Big mistake. When she doesn't, the saleswoman doesn't serve that lady, because, it's how you feel appreciated, how you make to feel. Like if not that I want, trumpets and, balloons and whatever, but I just like, hey, Dhea, just let you know that this worked out. Thank you so much for that introduction. It really meant a lot. I was able to do this. It's because it makes you think, well, that was a valued. They acted on it, because how do I know if they've acted on that referral timely, and whether the outcome's positive or not, it's irrelevant, but that they acted on that referral. And I don't know what you think about that as well, Terilee. I'm sure you have your thoughts.
No, I totally agree. And I think just even the initial, when people say, I think we're pretty good about that initially, when they say, hey, I want to introduce you to this person. Thank you, Dhea, for the introduction. And hello, Jane Smith, right? But I think it can go beyond that too. It goes way beyond that too. And I totally agree. So we have a comment said by Jeanette. Jeanette is giving us, give a kind word about the person's behavior to another person. Like fill in the blank, shows up on time for meetings, and I appreciate this. How about you? Said, a kind word about the person to another person. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little something in the background on the person. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Because it just gives people an idea of that personality, or, if they're serious, funny, comical type people, or, I met her at blah, 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 or him at that. We both have been together. We've done this. I've known them for 10 years. Anything, a little backstory is really valuable. Great point, Jeanette. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah.
Totally. Jeanette is she's our special side contributor today. We're glad you're here, Jeanette.
I don't see those, do I? I can't see those.
No,
comments.
she's just typing. No, I don't think you do.
Yeah.
I don't think you do.
No,
yeah. So
okay, I'm not ignoring anyone.
Okay, so that was on giving, and you talked about your pet peeve. I think on to you. What would be another way of being memorable to people when you're networking?
Well, after the meetings, again, don't run off as the meeting finishes. Hang back a little bit and connect, make those connections a bit more, because now you get a chance to hear everyone who's in the room. Because I actually don't like events where you can't hear who is in the room. I really like to, because again, you don't know, especially if there's no roster or anything. So you want to hear who's in the room and then make those personal connections. Because yes, you can connect on LinkedIn, but if you don't sort of say, hey, even if you have to rush off, I've got to rush off, I've got an appointment, but I really loved what you said. I'd love to see if we can do something together, and then rush off. But don't, because everything online is great, but nothing beats that initial, if you can, even a Zoom like this is connecting to me. It's not like you've got to do it face to face, but if you have the opportunity to be in a room, or if in a Zoom room, try and get into it. Go, Terilee, can I just pop in a Zoom, breakout room with you? I'd love to find out more. And then if not, then definitely follow up timely within 24 hours. Don't wait a week. It's tricky. I know I'm guilty of it. And I said to myself, 2021, I'm going to be, connecting with everybody. And of course, we get another circuit breaker or something happens, it enters into our head and you forget. And then, 2-3 weeks later, you go, oh, hi, we met at a V team something. And then people go, I mean, they're not horrible, but it's like, who are you really? Who are you other than the big haired lady? So, definitely at that end of the meeting, if you can make those connections really fast. If they're genuine, not everybody in the room, because, you really got to make, and I think if you can say, I loved how you said something about that resonated with me. And again, a bit like Jeanette was saying about having that little backstory in there rather than, hi, let's connect. And you sort of go, well, who are you? What are you? And don't do what I did and, confuse two Chris's and say, hi, Chris, we met. And he goes, no, I've never met you before. I go, oh, because I was in a rush. I didn't plan it properly. And so making this, we had a laugh about it, but
that could happen to anybody. But that can happen to anybody, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It didn't mean, it also meant that I didn't sort of stop networking. I didn't go, oh my God, I'm hopeless, I'm useless, throw it all in, didn't work. You've got to be kind to yourself as well. Yeah. Yeah.
No, we must grant grace. And you know what? Maybe you were supposed to meet this Chris number 2. I don't know.
Yeah, well, possibly.
Possibly. Hey, Jeanette says, so about giving the kind word about the person. She says, especially if you don't know the skills or talents of the person in business. And she said by the sidekick.
Well,
next time we'll have the three of us on together in the future, okay, Jeanette?
But that is true, because for instance, if you've got a family lawyer, I'm happily married, I'm not divorced, but I'm networking with a family lawyer for 10 years. How do I refer? I haven't used the services, but I will say I've been in the same room for 10 years. We've connected, we know the value, blah, 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 all those things, but I haven't used the services, thank goodness. But, and things like that, well, people you haven't used the services, be authentic and upfront about that. But because we're networking together, we get their personality there, they turn up, they're professional, they're all those things that you can attribute to, so that when you do recommend someone, it's not, you don't want them to turn around and say, well, I thought you used them and that's how you came across. So you've got to be careful when you do recommend or refer, that you are saying, whilst I haven't used a family lawyer, I've known XYZ for blah, blah, blah. She's helped my network. She's helped this. And I think that's a great way to, give real referrals when you haven't used services. Yep.
So good. Okay. So I have one for the people that whether we meet them face to face or online, we will have the opportunity to connect on social media. So I believe one way to be memorable would be being able to like their posts, comment on their posts, right? Share their posts. Like that's one way in between things. So they're going to see that you're engaging them and supporting them, right? And I think that can be one thing that's super important in the scheme of our building, because this is about relationship building, planting seeds, things like we can hit it off the first time we meet someone. Like Dhea, I don't know, when did we meet? December, November? And like we can meet and instantly know, oh my gosh, you know, this person, I think that there's something here, and you can continue to build that relationship. But yet, we won't be able to do that strongly with everyone, but those planting of the seeds and showing the interest, I think that's key.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easy to find those connections, and so you do. Yeah, we don't even. Sometimes we can be in the same room and we know we're connecting, we're not even talking. But with others, you do need to try a bit harder in terms of that. You want to because you like what they do, and so social media is brilliant. You don't just. There's nothing worse. I keep saying nothing worse, but there are other things worse. But there's annoying things when they say, "Yeah, I saw that you did that on LinkedIn," and you go, "Well, why didn't you actually give a little like?" It's not that you. It just means that they're reading it. So why not just a like or a Instagram double tap or something, just so that it helps engagement, and then I know that you're still part of my network. And I think that's really important too. So also another thing that is really good is if I know that you're doing networking and I find an article or a newspaper link, and I go, "Hey, Terilee, have you read this? I think this will help you find it interesting." Just again through private messaging rather than just, "Are you ready to buy my services?" Private messaging, and that's adding value through, and it keeps that next. It's another touch point that we all talk about, those touch points, so that again, staying top of mind is what we want when people are ready to use our services or join our groups or. Connect,
so true.
To transact rather than ask for money straight away, or if they're not ready or they don't want to use it, but they've got networks that can connect with you. So finding an article I think is really an interest, or a funny post on social media or something, and sharing it through their direct messages is a fun way as well.
Gosh, yes. I like that too. Yeah. So let's bring us. I'm going to circle us back into a topic and service that I know is near and dear to your heart. You can be like, "Oh, well, thanks for bringing that up." But Dea's service really helps you be memorable, and it's in a tangible way. And not that liking someone's post isn't, but it's that element of delight and surprise. And so here's a sample. So she recently, in the last month or so, sent me this postcard, right? And with "So much love here, Terilee," with me and my two youngest. And this, so let's talk about this, because I know that building relationships, nurturing relationships, follow up. I know that that's all very near and dear to your heart. And then I will say the icing on the cake was unexpectedly then, a couple weeks later, you're going to laugh, I never cut them, but I literally do have a lot of send out cards because you keep them. Like people send them to me, like my all over my desk. Okay, but this one talked about how beautiful my smile was, and it had the arrow, and I literally cut it to put it in my phone case. So this one goes with me everywhere now, Dhea. Yeah. So I don't have pictures in my phone case with me, but yeah. So that was just like the icing on the cake. Oh, she thought of me again. Right?
Yeah.
Dhea, talk to us some about this, because I think that this is something that should not be ignored.
Well, again, it's bridging digital with tangible, and again, we all, online. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I'm on social media all the time, sometimes to the detriment of everything else that I do. I love reading about things. I love hearing people's news and that. And then with a follow up is like if you have got a big list of people and you think, how do I stay in touch with them without having to like everybody's post? And I'm sure, Terilee, you would have a lot of people. We have a system like it's send out cards where you can create memorable, valuable, tangible connections, and we're calling it breakthrough digital clutter, because we do need and we talked about touch points before. We said, nice to meet you email or connection on LinkedIn. We talked about maybe giving someone a little article or a message on there or a comment on their Facebook. So that's 3. And then we expect people to buy from us. It's like, well, who are you again? What do you do again? So staying on top of all that. So if we can have a system, and I've got a few cards too, like we are doing these postcard. I was on
She's
stage.
She's just got a few. She's just got a few.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is that upside down? Oh no, there it is. This is where I was on the stage. My very first convention. I put it on Facebook because I think Facebook had a, this day 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And this is my CEO's dad, who has since passed away. And I was chosen to interview him. And of course, you can't interview this man. He took over the mic, and we were just sitting there like. But somebody sent it to me as a card, and even though I was there and I shared the post, but getting it in the defining moments in your life, sort of comment on the back. It's true. And it was like, and I'm what we call a level 4 card sender, where I do it in my sleep. It still got to my heart. And this person who sent it to me, took the time to do it. And so that's he's impregnated in my head. And that's the thing, is like, so it doesn't have to be, this lady just got her, here's Amanda, one of my good friends. She just became an Australian citizen. She passed her test. She put that on Facebook. And congratulations, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. But I sent it to myself too, because I just love that expression. And and it happened to arrive the same day she got her official certificate. And so she's got these tangible things. She puts it on Facebook, says I'm amazing. And not that you do it for that reason, because it does bring a smile on my face. Look at your face. You're smiling when you looked at your children, and that you're just staying top of mind. And it's an additional tool to staying memorable if you don't have time to, go on and like every post, comment on every post, and just bring it in as one little part of your marketing to help stay top of mind. And I tell you, they don't throw them away. I go to people's homes and all the, oh, you sent me that, you sent me that. I mean, I've been with them since 2009, so I have a lot of cards sent out in the world. So, and I love it that, I had a real estate agent who I sent with her first sale, and she's since moved probably 5 agencies, but she takes that very first card, and it's all mangled, but she just loves it. She goes, it's my good luck card. And, to have something, one little card that has 9-year shelf life, that's huge in terms of marketing costs, price per, whatever they call it, price per click or price per whatever. And so, something tangible is another way to, people also send sweets and things as well. So again, another sense is being stimulated. So if you can do your digital, your tangible, if you got, we don't do flowers, but, flowers are a beautiful thing to send too. If someone's gotten married, if a special client's married or whatever, you just appreciate them, and you do stay memorable. Lifelong relationships, which is what it's all about. Yeah, that was a long one.
Okay.
Wasn't it?
No, it's good. No, I know. Okay, so I have a hunch, Jeanette. I think this is all you. Okay, let's back up to one thing, and that is, and she's right, and I'm sure we meant this too. I'm sure we agree. We talked about liking the people's posts, and she says, like only if you truly had an emotional reaction. Like, we don't want to be spammy and we don't want to be swarmy about it, right? It's not like to chase them down and be like, oh, you do this with me. No. Right? Yeah.
If I've read it though, but if I've read it, I think they deserve a like.
Yeah.
If it's, in 2 words, I'll know if I don't like it, so I'll swipe past. But if I've read the whole thing, I think I deserves, even if not spammy. I wouldn't like something that was, I don't do political stuff. I don't like or dislike anyone's political posts or their vaccine posts or it has to be business or personal. Yeah. Or not personal, but
You don't?
No.
You don't?
I snooze them.
There are things there are just things I don't discuss.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Okay. Yes, I have. Yes, I have snooze people too, especially like for 30 days around an election.
Yeah.
Like, oh my word. Like, let's see if you're nice. Yeah. Let's see if you're nice in 30 days. Okay, boy. Okay. Sorry, we're getting off track. Other comments.
Yes, everything should be genuine, and everything has to be.
It's not to chase them down. Yes. Yeah. So agree. We so agree. Okay. Love what Mailbox Love does for people's lives. Absolutely. Paper hugs for all. Time invested in people is the best use of currency of life. Yes. Isn't this one way to be memorable in everything we do, right? And then this has to be Jeanette. So she sent 2,000 cards in September of 2019. It's her happy app. So yes.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now she's going to check hers. You put it in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. No, Dhea sends a lot of cards.
1 month, was it? In 1 month?
No, since September of 2019.
Oh.
That's still a lot of cards.
Good. Yeah.
Very good.
We try and say, look, we have a thing about saying if you can wake up and send a card, there is a vibrational change, just like you do anything. Cellularly, you do, especially if it's a happy card, not so much the marketing cards, because marketing is marketing, but you see something on Facebook or someone's had a baby and you sit there and put a photo of the kid, you actually do smile. So I used to put the kettle on, do it, have a look what's on Facebook, send a card, and it really lifts my day. And then, of course, when they receive it, they say, oh, my God, thank you for the card. And then that triggers the ripple effect, is kindness spread. And, and the spin-off, let's put our business hat on, is that you remain memorable, and those connections are cemented. So everybody wins.
So good. So thank you. We said we want this to be, okay. Dhea at first thought we'd be on for 6 to 7 minutes. We're at 25 right now. We'd like to thank Jeanette. Like to thank Jeanette for helping us get to 25 minutes. Thank you, Jeanette. And then Dhea, for those that might be interested in sending cards, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can either find me on LinkedIn and or Facebook or Instagram, but I'm happy to give them a free trial if they would like a free card. And just Dhea Bartlett, which is my name. Not many Dheas around, which is nice. I'd love to show them how it works, how it can fit into their marketing, into their personal. I mean, we've got people that are just sending them just for personal reasons, no business at all, because it makes them feel good, spreading kindness. So, just reach out and make sure you mention that it's through Terilee's, what is this called? Live?
Through our live, yep.
Let's talk networking, and then I'll know it's for you, and then I'll make sure they get the free card. Yes.
Awesome. Well, Dhea, thank you for sharing again. I'd love to have you back again. I think we will definitely. Now Jeanette is saying to reach out to you. I think it's Jeanette for your free card offer. Jeanette, we'll book a time with you and Dhea on here, and we'll have a blast. And so just want to thank you, Dhea, for your time today. Just want to encourage, if you're watching the replay, let us know, #replay, and feel free, if you have some things that you think make you more memorable in your networking, we would love to see your comments and be able to see them. We know how to get a hold of Dhea. If you are interested in getting a hold of me, you can do that and book a time to chat at bookterilee.com. If you're interested in visiting one of our extraordinary Team Referral Network virtual chapters, we'd love to invite you to be our guest. Dhea is the founding president of an amazing group that meets on Wednesdays at 12:30 Sydney time and at noon, right? Sorry.
12:30 p.m.
So this is a time that's pretty friendly for like West Coast US. And so if you'd be interested in meeting some wonderful people from Australia and beyond, we would love to invite you to be our guest. Let me know, and I'd be happy to give you the information, or reach out to Dhea. Would love to meet you as well. So thanks, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you at our next episode of Let's Talk Networking tomorrow. Our closing quote for our Let's Talk Networking series is, when you have figured out what it is that you want to ask for, do it with boldness, confidence, and certainty. So thank you, Dhea, and we'll see you all tomorrow.